Well, you can't have missed the candles, can you, on this Christmas Eve when we meet together? We've lit the candles all through this season of Advent to tell us of the people that prepared the way, John the Baptist, Mary, and others that prepared the way for the coming of Jesus Christ. We have just one candle to light, that king in the middle, the tall white candle, and we shall do that on Christmas morning. Join us tomorrow for a special show. And the lighting of the candles tell us something of that light in the darkness experience. Now, when we turn to John's Gospel, as we inevitably do at Christmas, to me it's the supreme, superb passage of Christmas, we're bound to ask the question why John has no infancy stories, nativity, or birth narrative of any kind. There might be a number of reasons for that. Mainly because John is relating to a non-Jewish audience, and it's probably a much later gospel story to a different audience. He's using terminology because of that, logos, the word, which is much more easily understood by Greek-educated readers. He, like we, knew how important it was to package our message in a culturally accessible way. We were talking a little of that a little earlier in the show with Andy. The gospel is, of course, however, unchangeable, but the setting often alters and the recipients are never the same. Jesus Christ was present before the world was created. So I want to read to you this great passage of John's gospel, often known as that which is like the overture to the whole of the gospel, the prologue. His word becomes flesh. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not the light. He came only as a witness to the light. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision, or a husband's will, but born of God. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. It's a marvelous account of the coming of God in Jesus Christ. It has that focus on the Word, but also on light, light in darkness. We read, don't we, in verse 5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Jesus will be described later in this very same gospel as the light of the world. He is the light that comes into our world, that shines on every difficult place, that exposes things as they are, but helps us also to see the way forward. The light in the darkness, not only for a people long ago, but for people today, for me, and indeed for you. Light in darkness. I wonder what that means for you today. He was not recognized by many. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. Some recognized him. Often it was blind people on the edge of a village. Sometimes it was people who might be outcasts who called him the Son of David, the Son of God. Sometimes it was a small group of disciples. But there were many that did not recognize him, even though his presence was clear to see. He came into this world and he passed from this world's vision for many people without them even knowing who it was. He came into this world to bring his light, to bring his peace, to bring his presence. And then thirdly, in this same passage, I want to commend to you, if I can, verses 12 and 13. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision, or a husband's will, but born of God. This is the new beginning that God came to bring in Jesus Christ. This is the new birth that John will talk about in the 3rd chapter when we read about the visit of Nicodemus to Jesus. A new birth, a new beginning. When Jesus came into the world, it's true to say he was the light of the world. It's true to say that many didn't recognize him, but to those who did, he gave them the right, the privilege, the wonder of a new beginning. This is a great time of the year to think about new beginnings in relationships and in our spiritual lives also. As you prepare for tomorrow, remind yourself that the Word became flesh, and that same Word came in the heart of this world and lived among us, and we are given the choice to recognize him and embrace him.